You've been in so many iconic films and you played so many iconic roles. People probably forget that even you had to start out. And when you started out, you didn't always get encouragement from studio executives. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that's true. It was actually worse than that. I was under contract at Columbia Pictures for $150 a week, which back in those days was still only $150 a week. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, they used to use me in little. I had to do everything that they wanted me to do, my first movie role was as a bellboy, a bellman.
Bellman in a hotel.
In a hotel, and I delivered a note or a telegram or something to James Coburn, and my lines were paging Mr. Jones, paging Mr. Jones, and he raised his hand, and I went over and I said, "Mr. Jones, room 204?" And he said, "Yes," and I gave him the note, and that was my job.
Right.
And then there was a guy that was in charge of what they called the new talent program, and he called me into his office the next day, and he said, "Sit down, kid." He always called me kid. He was about 4 years older than me. He said, "I saw the rushes from yesterday." He said, "Let me tell you a story." He said, "The first time, you're never going to make it in this business." He said, you just forget about it. You're never going to. He said, "The first time Tony Curtis was ever in a movie, he delivered a bag of groceries. A bag of groceries. You took one look at that guy and you said, that's a movie star." And I leaned across his desk and I said, "I thought you were supposed to think that that was a grocery delivery boy."
Probably didn't go over too well.
He said, "Get out of my office," which I was happy to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't last that much longer with them. But
yeah. That's amazing now that somewhere he's watching this. He's just watched your career unfold. And
I was in like 15 years later, and I was in a commissary at some studio, and a waiter came over to me with a little silver tray. I only saw that in movies once. And there was a business card on it, and I picked up the business card, and written on it was, "I missed my bet." And I turned it over, and it was the name of the guy. And much to my great immediate pleasure, it still gives me a little bit of pleasure now, I looked around and I couldn't figure out which one he was.
That's the best revenge.
Yeah.